Primetime Grill, Ottawa University, and KOFO. Now, here's your host for Hoop Talk, KOFO's Luke Queen.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. Luke Queen with you live out here at the Primetime Grill at Fusion Alley. And joining me here in our first segment to talk about Ottawa Braves basketball is men's head coach Aaron Stevens. Coach,
hey,
good
Luke.
to have you back.
Thanks for being here.
Well, absolutely. I have nowhere else to be on a Thursday night except talking Braves hoops. I enjoy doing it. Missed you last week, but Joe and Andre were very capable fill-ins for you. It was good to get a player's perspective, but, you know, at this point, I really was hoping to get to talk to you because, as we kind of talked before coming on, a few weeks ago we were sitting here talking about you were getting ready to turn it over into the second half of the KCAC season. You know, went 6-6 in the first side. You were kind of thinking, you know, hey, what we need to do to get ourselves up into that home game area. And you've gone out and your team has won 8 straight games and really is playing the best basketball kind of here towards the end of the season, exactly what you want to do. You know, let's see, move the game that was supposed to be yesterday up to Tuesday, taking on Friends and coming with a real gutty win. Bethel on the road before that. Kind of wanted to jump back to the Bethel game to start with. Bethel, obviously top 25 ranked team, and had ripped off 14 in a row.
13.
13
yep.
Going into that game. So, you know, definitely between you and them, probably the two hottest teams in the conference. You go down to North Newton on Saturday and come away with a big road win. What the guys do on Saturday that just really made that difference that day?
Yeah, you know, we've the Bethany game before that, and then the Bethel game is the two games where we've game planned the most. The Solomon Clayton kid for Bethany, we double teamed him, and then we literally did the opposite of that with Jalen Scott, who's, you know, first team All-American, player of the year in this conference. Will be player of the year again in this conference, and deservedly so. And we did the opposite. We basically guarded him one-on-one mostly with Andre Jackson, and dared him to shoot from the outside. And made sure that we covered up all the other three-point shooters on their team, because that's where he's the most dangerous in our opinion. Was if he gets into the lane and he can score, or if he has options to kick it out for threes. And so we really wanted to see if he could score 50 points and beat us. And he scored 26 points on 26 shots. You know, he had a triple-double. He had a great game, other than he wasn't the most efficient shooting the ball. And so, you know, that's really the only weakness he has is outside shots. So we thought we'd see if how many shots he could make from the outside. And then he started going to the rim. He's really hard to guard, but we did a really good job of game planning for them. And the guys are just playing really hard right now. You know, when we were kind of struggling a little bit, we were pointing fingers at the refs, and we were, you know, we got bumped or we got hit, and, you know, the world was coming to an end. And now we understand, like, that's just the way the game's going to be called. And we just got to, you know, be more physical and be tougher and stay together no matter what happens. And the guys really bought into that. So they're buying into game plan, they're buying into being tougher, and it's translating to, you know, success on the court.
Absolutely. You know, 8 straight, you know, now sitting at 14-6 in the conference, 18-8 overall. You know, it was less than a month ago. You know, that 4-game losing streak there that finished with 2 incredibly tough games with Oklahoma Wesleyan and Southwestern, and then coming out and ripping 8 off in a row. Has moved you up into that top 4 in the KCAC standings, and that's big when conference tournament comes around, as you'll get to host a game in the opening round against right now would be the 5 seed in Kansas Wesleyan, who will be playing tonight.
Yeah. So this year, I think another COVID concession is all 13 teams are going to make the tournament this year. The top 3 teams are going to get a bye. The bottom 10 teams then will play each other to get to 5 teams, and then we'll be back to our 8-team format. So finishing 4th, if you win your first game, which you'd host, you get to host the second round, but you obviously have to play one more game than you would if it was an 8-team tournament. So really, we're really hoping we can somehow finagle our way into 3rd. That'd be great, because then we get that bye, and then we get a host the game. But 4th is definitely, you know, 3rd or 4th we'll take. Whether we got to play an extra game in Wilson Fieldhouse, okay. Sign me up. We're all for that. So But the main thing is we just got to keep focusing. I know it sounds extremely cliche, but when you have two really big games at the end on the road in Southwestern and Oklahoma Wesleyan, it's hard not to look ahead to those. But we got to focus on York. Going up there is a tough place to play, and so we just got to again take it one game at a time. And we just hit the reset button at the turn and said we got a 12-game season. How many games can we go win? And luckily we're 8-0 in that 12-game season, and we need to keep that going.
Absolutely. York is always an interesting matchup in my opinion. You say it's a tough place to play. It is the longest drive for you, to get up to Nebraska and go play that game. The style of play, it seems like York has they like to get out and go, but maybe, not quite as much transition as you guys. I don't know if it's their secondary that's not maybe as strong as what you have, but they're, it's always a challenge in the KCAC, especially on the road. But you guys have picked up some road wins here recently, especially. You did it in the first half, too.
Yep.
Let's not, say you didn't do that. But, what is it about that? Is it, a different style in the gym, or just the way that York plays the game that can make it a challenge?
Yeah, I think it's their style. They're unorthodox offensively. They kind of will take and sometimes make what we would consider bad shots, but they kind of live and die by some tough shots, and they're just a team that kind of like friends. They're the record's not great, so they're viewing themselves as an underdog, and I think they've really kind of started to relish that role of being the spoiler and the underdog. And when you're the underdog, you don't have the pressure. You don't have we're supposed to win. So when the pressure's off and your coach allows you just to jack a bunch of shots, they can get going. That's exactly what happened with Friends the other night. I mean, there's literally nothing but a bunch of freshmen running around out there, and they're too dumb to know as freshmen that they're not supposed to win. And, so we went out big against them, and I think our guys thought it was going to be easy and it was going to be a blowout. And, Friends was like, we're just going to keep playing and keep playing hard, and they made a bunch of shots, and we started taking bad shots and kind of weren't really focused on the defensive end, and all of a sudden it was a game and they had a lead. So, but give our guys credit for coming back in that game and finding a way to make some plays down the stretch.
Absolutely. In that game against Friends on Tuesday, things that I kind of saw, and I'm just a fan and a supporter here, but not quite the coach's mind that you were. But it seemed like where the effort, especially in that last 12 minutes, to get back from behind at that point, to go over and take the lead, it started on the defense, and you guys really kind of locked them down. And the shots that might have been tough shots, they were definitely contested, but you were forcing them almost to take the shots you wanted them to take, not the ones that they wanted. Is that what you saw out of your guys, or was it you kind of they got back into their rhythm?
Yeah, I think it's that. It was the second game in a row where we used the 2-3 zone, which we work on exactly never. It was the second game in a row where we just used a zone just to kind of disrupt their momentum, to disrupt their flow a little bit. And it seems weird when you play a team with it's got a bunch of guys making a bunch of threes to play zone. But really, I mean, you're going to get more contested threes in a zone than you would man the way we play defensively. So, the zone kind of got them out of their comfort zone, and then we started picking up the pressure a little bit and forcing some turnovers. I think we turned them over 21 times. So I think we shot 16 more times than they did. So shouldn't have been near as close a game as it was. But you got to give those guys credit. But no, our guys, they just have this will now. I think we finally got them to buy into, if we'll play hard on the defensive end, then obviously on the offensive end, we're going to give a lot of freedom, and hopefully they'll have a lot of fun. And guys stepped up and made plays. Andre Jackson was hurt. He was really struggling to move his feet and guard. He tweaked an ankle, so he's kind of been our go-to guy. But we had guys like Ty Bland step up offensively, and obviously Joe continues to make shots and give us a spark there. So the good thing about our team is if one guy goes down or isn't having a good night, we usually got 2 or 3 other guys that are ready to step up and pick up the slack for us.
And one thing I noticed, you just look at the roster sheet to begin with, and it kind of jumps out at you when you see 7'3" on somebody's roster, and you think, boy, what are you going to do about that? And one of the things that I noticed, it was Andre Jackson and Tristan Hull, went right at the 7'3" big man for Friends and tried to pull him out just a little bit, get him 12 to 15 feet away, and then use their ability to get by him on the dribble and go right at him and go right at that shot blocker. Was that kind of a game plan, or was that just they know their game well enough and they were going to try and beat them with what they're good at?
Yeah, I think with Tristan, just kind of took it personal and thought it was a good matchup. And we try and go to Tristan early in every game, trying to establish that inside presence. And he did a really good job of like you said, backing him off and facing him up and using their quickness and going to the side of the rim to protect the ball. So that was good. We kind of had to go small towards the end to kind of get back in it because, Tristan does a lot of things well. He's not a great outside shooter, so their big man continued to kind of stay underneath the basket. So we went small so they had to go small as well, and that was a big advantage because then we could start getting to the rim. Ty Bland was able to get to the rim because that big guy was up out of there. So, it wasn't really our intention was try and beat him up and down the floor and try and pull him away from the basket for others to score. But I liked our guys' aggressiveness as going at them. And, we also were switching ball screens, so we had Joe Johnson at 5'8" was trying to front the 7'3" guy a few times, and it worked out well. Teams really struggle when we front. Teams really struggle to throw it over the top and catch that. And so, we don't see 7'3" guys too often, and that's just fine by me if those guys aren't in the game. So,
and Joe Johnson, I believe 20 points, 6 threes the other night, and 2 crucial free throws down the stretch when Friends was starting to foul. Joe stepped up and hit him again. So you see Joe just continue to do that. But, on the other end, Friends at one point, they ended up, I believe, 9 of 19 from three-point range. But at about that 10-minute mark of the second half, they were 9 of 13.
Yeah.
And, well over 50%. I'm not a math whiz, but I can do that simply. And, then they go 0 for 6 to finish it off, and it seemed like it was really that defense that stepped in and made it more difficult. Did you challenge your guards there late in the game, or was that just you got a senior-laden team or an upperclassmen team, and they knew what they needed to get done?
Yeah, a lot of their shots were coming off of them driving the ball into the middle, which is a no-no in our defense, or supposed to be, and us having to come and bring help, and then they throw it to the guy who's wide open because we had to bring help. And so I really challenged our guys to guard the ball more. So like I said, when the team's 9 of 13 from 3, why wouldn't you just go to a zone? That makes a lot of sense. But it did disrupt their timing. It did get them off kilter a little bit, and we just tried to guard the ball better. And again, we went small purposely to try and guard the ball better. We could switch everything, and it worked out in our favor. But no, our guys are really responding to game plan, to challenges, and I think we'll be ready to go on Saturday when we get up there to York.
All right, well, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll have more with Ottawa University men's head coach Aaron Stephenthal. After this, you're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better, because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
My name is Darby Whitell. I'm from Ottawa, Kansas. I'm studying biology, and I'm a freshman at Ottawa University. I didn't expect how involved I would feel coming here. It's almost kind of like its own community. I'm very close with my family, like my parents, my brothers, my grandparents, like they're all my big support systems, and they can come see my sporting events. Coming here was one of the best decisions I could have made.
The right decision for you is Ottawa University. Find out more by visiting ottawa.edu.
The league's 88 best players are set to face off at the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas.
Jackpot, baby!
Whether they're rookies new to the game or veterans making a triumphant return, the biggest names and brightest stars will rep their team, their city, and the NFL at this year's Pro Bowl.
And here we go!
Tune in and catch the excitement of the 2022 Pro Bowl, presented by Verizon, Sunday, February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes.
Living in rural America, we know the value of agriculture and what it means to our families, our communities, our economy, to our country. It starts at home and it starts in school. Each year, FFA students in our area high schools are involved in activities that play a key role in the agricultural health and well-being for everyone, now and in the future. Coming to KOFO starting February 19th, you'll hear from those FFA students during National FFA Week and more about just what it means to them on 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO.
And back here at Primetime Grill for Ottawa University Braves Big Talk with Queen with you here. And sitting across from me, joining me is Aaron Stevensall, head men's basketball coach. And Coach, we've kind of gone back, 8-game winning streak, kind of hit on that a little bit. Ahead, we've got York this weekend. But then before we talk again next week, is going to be your last regular season home game. Last scheduled regular season home game is next Wednesday in Wilson Fieldhouse, and it's going to be senior night. You've got a class of seniors this year, kind of really super seniors. They all get to be, which is, on my end, a lot of fun to talk about because I consider myself a super senior after all the years I spent in college. But, you know, these guys have had a big impact on your program over the last 5 years, 3 years, the time that they've been here. So just kind of wanted to open it up and get it. Say, you know, what can we say about these guys individually as a group? You know, like I said, they've meant a lot to your program, but you're honoring them next week. So tell me a little bit about this group of seniors that you're going to honor next Wednesday.
Yeah, you know, as a group, I've been very blessed with these guys. All four of these guys we're going to talk about have a ring, you know, from 2 years ago. They were all part of the winningest team in school history. We've unfortunately got the COVID connection between all of us, but, you know, I guess the icing on the cake of our season being canceled when we set the school record and we were in the national tournament was at least I got another year with these guys, you know, and as much as we all wanted to keep going, I mean, having another year with these guys is special. So, you know, they're just a lot of fun, and I've been really spoiled. We've brought in some guys, you know, the last couple of years to kind of fill in spots with these guys, but haven't really had to go recruit, you know, a whole bunch of you know, our top players. And, you know, one guy here this year, one guy here that year, and we've been really, really, really spoiled. Now with these four leaving, we got a lot to replace. So, you know, I'll start with Joe Johnson. Joe's just an amazing person. He's in grad school, and he's a man of faith, and he's I just can't say enough about how good of a person he is. He's our hardest worker. He's always in the gym. And now that he's in grad school, he's got more time to be in the gym. He's always in the gym, and just a great guy. When I need somebody to step up and do something, he did Meals on Wheels every Wednesday this last month. He did the whole month of January. He took that on and said, Coach, I want to do it the whole month, and just a great guy. And obviously he can really score it. He stepped up a lot this year. Kind of been a role guy, a very important role guy, but been a role guy for us. And now he's kind of thrust into being one of our top, you know, two scorers for us for sure. And so love Joe and everything he's brought to our program. I'll talk about Andre Jackson next. You know, Andre's one of our Highland Community College connections, and you know, having him for 3 years has been amazing. He's probably one of the most versatile players I've ever coached. I mean, he can guard 1 through 5. He can post up smaller guys. He can take bigger guys off the dribble on the perimeter, shoot the ball, and he's our toughness guy. He's going to come up with 7 or 8 rebounds every night. He's going to get the toughest guy to guard, the most physical guy to guard, and he's always been there, and he's just been my most steady guy. You can always count on Andre. And then his partner in crime, another Highland guy that they're in their 6th year of playing college basketball together, is Jaquan Daniels, and Jaquan's going to be one of the most favorite guys I've ever coached, and he and I are really close. And he's been through a lot. He's lost a lot of family, in the last year and a half, and it's really taken a toll on him. And he goes from being an All-American and a starter to a guy coming off the bench, and he's never complained. He's always been about the team, and he's no matter what his role is as he goes, we're going to go. If he's into a game and if he's locked in, we're just going to be that much better. And other than maybe Jalen Scott, I don't think there's anybody in the league that can impact the game on both ends as much as he does. And excited to see him finish the season strong, because he's really into it right now. And and then lastly is Jackson Mallory. Jackson's in his 5th year with us, and he's been with me since my 2nd year as a head coach, and I've known him since he was in 4th grade, being from Lawrence, and friends with his family. His mom and his grandpa are in the Hall of Fame at Ottawa University, and even before this COVID year, Jackson has won more basketball games in a Braves uniform than anyone in school history. So it says a ton about him, and I yell at him probably more than I yell at anybody, and he takes it. And he also deserves it, but he takes it, and just he and I are really close, and we're going to be really close all our lives. And he's 2nd in assists. Not sure if he's going to make it to 1st, but he's going to be really close. I think he's top 10 in steals. He's got to be up there in games played and games started, but he's another guy that, championship team, he starts every game. And then the next year, Perry comes, and it's better for us to have Perry starting, and Jackson didn't care. And he's a guy that's going to be in to finish games, and just another guy that I can count on. And he's probably got the best basketball IQ of anybody I've ever coached. He knows everybody's position 1 through 5. If we go to run a play and somebody's messing it up, Jackson will just throw them the ball and tell them what to do, and he'll go run their spot. And so he's really smart when it comes to basketball, and been a lot of fun to coach, and I've had great support from him and his parents, and it's a special group, one that's really left their mark on our program and at our school, and they deserve all the accolades that they're going to get on Wednesday.
Absolutely, and I've enjoyed watching them play. Jackson for 5 years, they're experts, a little bit shorter amount of time, but they are, as you said, they have cemented themselves in the history of Ottawa University basketball, whether it be the record books or unfortunately maybe even on the side of what happened 2 years ago in the national tournament. But definitely a group that deserves to be honored, and looking forward to being there next Wednesday night, to do that. Just simply put, unfortunately, it has to be on a Wednesday,
Yep.
but and it'll be a big game against McPherson. So next Wednesday night, right now scheduled for an 8 o'clock tip. Ceremony prior to between the 2 games.
Yeah, between games.
Okay, so get in there if you're going out to see those guys. Get in there, a little early. Heck, get there at 6 o'clock for the women's tip,
Yep.
and enjoy the evening. But Coach, as always, I always appreciate you taking time out and coming out with me on a Thursday night to talk basketball. And good luck this weekend at York and next week against McPherson. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Appreciate you.
All right, well, we're going to take another time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by some Ottawa University women's Braves basketball players. Berkeley, do you need to say goodbye to everybody? All right, Berkeley Siemens-Thal is going to join in us a little bit here tonight, and we appreciate her being around, too. We'll be back in just a minute with more Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
My name is Jose Trejo. I'm a junior here at Ottawa University, and I'm currently studying exercise science. One of my favorite things about OU is that it's a small community, and coming from Western Kansas, where all there is small country towns, I felt right at home, as everyone kind of just felt like family. It's a great community. It has a lot of support behind it, and most of the professors here are extremely well about getting you to understand the knowledge that they want you to understand.
Education for a lifetime at Ottawa University. To find out more, visit online at ottawa.edu.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches, weakness, or discomfort in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, and B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live your life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back. And they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a nature show host.
In the native habitat of a suburban driveway, the poor victim of a broken windshield is left assessing his vehicle, utterly helpless.
Well, not true. If he's got Geico, he can file a claim online, over the phone, or with his handy mobile app.
But like a lone gazelle, he'll suddenly be left to fend for himself, awaiting his terrible fate.
Nope. Geico will assign him a designated claims team to help him out too.
So the gazelle gets his car fixed and everything. Wow, nature is so cool.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Call the Wright Snow Removal Company for the job. Wright Services LLC at 785-418-0414. Call Wright Services LLC for snow removal now. 785-418-0414.
The KOFO Sports Guide is the best way for you to follow your favorite high school or Ottawa University teams throughout the year. Football, basketball, soccer, and wrestling, baseball and tennis, track, golf, softball, and more. Pick up your free KOFO Sports Guide from Don Hardman, Ottawa Recreation Commission, Rock Creek of Ottawa, and Maggie's Popcorn and Nuts. You can also find the KOFO Sports Guide online at KOFO.com.
Play ball!
Yeah, welcome back here to Primetime Grill, Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. Luke Queen with you here, and joining me here for our third segment is a couple players from the Ottawa University Braves women's basketball team. And ladies, how are we this evening?
Good. Doing well.
Good. I'm Kadeshia, Payne, and Brooke Fragis with me here. And Kadeshia, we talked about it before we came on. Second time on this year, so she's the pro out here. Brooke, the freshman. We're getting her used to doing a little interview process here, so we'll have some fun. We were talking about upcoming. Looking forward to a fun trip up to York, Nebraska. To play York this weekend. And as Coach Steve said, they used to drive up there and drive back in the same day. Now you get to go up a little earlier and get some rest up there. So, we'll see if it's fun for you. Yes, you did play against York back in December, and you had a pretty darn good game too. Just in case you had, you didn't get that double-double. Only 12 and 9 that day, but you did win the game pretty well. It was a 75-39 win that you guys had that afternoon. Yeah, yeah, but it was a long time ago. It was almost 2 months ago. It was you played a lot of basketball and had a lot of things go on since. So, it'll be, hey, if you got to go to York, Nebraska, you might as well come away with the win.
Yeah, we need that.
Need that win. You played some tough basketball games here recently, and I've been, when I can, watching. When I can't, I'm listening to Casey Weeder on the call, and just played kind of a murderer's row of what is in the KCAC. Everybody at the top of the conference is kind of where you tried to run through here recently, and had some tough losses. Had some that were close. They kind of were able to spread it out a little bit more in the fourth. Some that games that kind of seemed like they spread it out in the second and third, and then the opponent had to fight hard because you guys were coming back late in the ball game. Friends here most recently Tuesday. That whole idea that it switched from Wednesday to Tuesday still bothering me, and it's 2 days later. But tough game. They kind of got into their groove, and Kadeshia, I want to start by going to you on this because it seems like with regularity, everybody else in the KCAC is going 2 post players.
Yes.
And you are really kind of the only post, true
Yes.
4-5 for OU right now. Kind of go in, what you kind of look for, because you're still pulling down your boards and you're still getting, really doing a darn good job on the offensive end too, scoring points and getting those rebounds. But trying to guard, multiple posts or just taking up that space down low that sometimes you have to do. What has been the challenge when it's kind of you as the only 5 out there when you're on the floor?
One challenge is trying to keep up with my man, because there are 2 posts on the floor, and it's me and Liz, and it's like, okay, dang, I'm coming over to help her, but I have to remember that I have my man, and that's a post player too. So that's just been a struggle with help fight coming to drop down to help me out while I'm trying to help her out in a way that we're playing defense now, 3-quarter and down. So it's been a little challenging.
Absolutely, and we're not going to disrespect Liz at all, because as an undersized post, she works
real
hard down there and battles with the best of them in the conference for sure. But she's going up against 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and they're throwing 2 of them out there, and the 2 of you are trying to guard them down there, and it's been quite challenging for you. But a lot of it in the late 3rd quarter and early 4th quarter on Tuesday. You guys were down, I believe, 18 kind of midway through that 3rd quarter, and really started coming back on Friends and kind of got them out of the rhythm. Was there something that did you change up defensively, or I was actually listening on the radio, so I couldn't see what was going on? That's kind of why I'm asking here. But you guys really turned the tide there late in the 3rd, early in the 4th, and really battled back. It ended up 12-point loss, but it was closer than that with a few minutes to go, and Friends made a couple plays late.
Right. During halftime, our coach was talking to us, and she was talking about our defense again, because that's what we're struggling with. And that's how they were just coming in there to drive and stuff and just sit down low, and then, there's no help, because the way that we're playing is 3-quartering. So with us playing 3-quarters, the post player we have to stand in front of that post player, and everybody knows if you're there at the game, that post player was big. Mm-hmm. So they just lost the pass over me, and she'll just get it. But after halftime, Amir came out there, and she was right there. As soon as they threw the ball, Amir was right there to take the ball out of her hand. And our health site was better. BK was talking, Liz was talking. Everybody started talking on the court after halftime, and that was what we really did need.
I also think later in the game, the defensive intensity got rised up a lot, because we started talking, we started listening to each other, and I think we all started trusting each other as well.
Right. Yeah, because it was. I was listening to Casey call it, and I could hear it, kind of feel it with the way he was talking about. There was some change, the way the changes were going on, but it's hard when you're not able to see it. But he did a great job of making that call the other day. You've had some really tough games here recently, a lot of losses in single digits, and it makes it tough to eat. It's your 2nd year here, Brooke, just a freshman, but there's been a lot of minutes being played by your freshman class this year. We talked to Haley and Jordan last week about it, just how many minutes younger players are getting. Coach Scott likes to say, and I've heard the cliche for a lot of years, that the best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores. And Coach Scott's been telling you since about the holiday break that you're no longer freshmen on the basketball court. And, you're getting a lot of minutes and, just really playing a very tough competition. What is the difference between, you come from Ames, Iowa, and I've heard of, it's good basketball in Iowa, first of all, and Ames is well known. Just as a college basketball fan, I know, Fred Hoiberg is growing up around here, and obviously Harrison Barnes went to here, it came from there too, and it's, NBA champion, really. So good basketball out there, but what was the difference, kind of that step from high school up to college like for you, that first, through that first semester especially?
I think is that the game never slows down. Like in high school, there's no shot clock. So you can go to game wherever tempo you want, and when you come here, it's like you have to do things the right way. Like there's no time to mess up because there's only a limited amount of time you get to do a certain amount of things.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like that. I hadn't thought about that one before, but yeah, definitely a big change. You know, adding that shot clock in. DJ played. You know, this is actually year 4 of college basketball. You get to be a super senior next year, and I love to get to say that, so I'm going to use it as long as I can. But you know, coming in here second year, you came in at an odd time as Coach Scott comes in and is recruiting just by watching tape, or maybe knew you before a little bit, but you know, come up to Ottawa. And so in your second year, what's kind of a little bit of a difference between last year and this year, you know, as far as going through the KCAC or just being on campus and playing ball here? Anything that's big and stick out?
We have a whole lot of freshmen. We have a lot of freshmen. Campus is different, kind of, sort of. It's like the off and on, not having to do the ATS no more. We're still wearing masks. Mm-hmm. And I'm really not on campus, so I really don't know. Only that. That's all I know.
You're on for class to be in the gym.
And that's it.
Yep.
And I'm gone.
And that's all right. You know, I completely understand that. I was that way when I was in college, too. When they forced me to live there, I did. But
ain't forcing me no more.
That's good. You know, mentioned it. We mentioned it, and we've been talking about it every week on the show, is how many minutes the freshman class is getting this year. And, you know, there's going to be growing pains. Like you said, just the shot clock, and you don't have an opportunity to make a mistake because that takes seconds off the shot clock. You know, the recovery turns into kind of a, I don't want to say panic mode, but you got to go quick. And, you know, because we got to get a shot in that 30 seconds. So, you know, what is it that, you know, you can't make that mistake, or is that something that you've kind of grown a little bit more used to? You know, where, hey, if I bobble it over here, I don't have, you know, you can actually take that breath and grab that ball and you're still in it, or does it just kind of get into that panic mode? Or is that where it was and now it's not?
I think if I make a mistake on offense, I try to let that turn into making like a positive thing on defense, because that's me making a mistake. So I think just turning that mindset into not panicking, but making it turn into like, okay, do something good on this end, so then you can just make up for it.
Yeah, a nice little way to go about it. You know, that's good thought for a freshman. That's definitely growth, and you know, through the game there is, you know, you let it go after that one mistake down on whether it be the offensive end and go back on defense to make up for it. And one thing I've noticed about your freshman class is there's good athletes, you know, and it never seems like you guys get too rushed, especially since kind of the turn of the calendar into this second half of the season. You know, teams make shots. It's tough to beat, but then again, I also want to bring up a game a few weeks ago that you guys were a part of, and that came up at St. Mary. And, I mean, it was 55 minutes of basketball. Kadeshia, unfortunately, which I will say this, we said this on the air, that could have been the softest 3 fouls you had to end that thing and should still have been on the floor. But, you know, I don't think the whistles were in your favor much that night. But, you know, to come away with a win like that on the road in conference, you know, did that help build some confidence, maybe some team chemistry, anything that was going that we can use to go forward? Did you guys think that something like that happened, or was it just, thank God we got done with that and we can finally get back home?
I feel like after having 3 overtimes, we felt like, okay, if we would have played that hard in the beginning, we wouldn't have 3 overtimes. And so as a team, we had to come together to be like, okay, we need to play that hard every game from here on out. Or it's going to go like that every game. And that's not what we want. If we can beat them in the beginning, then that'll be best for us, and we'll just be able to go home after that.
Brooke?
I think it put a little bit of fight in us to know that we can, like, come out with like that. Like, having 3 overtimes, like, okay, we can push that long, 55 minutes of basketball, then we should be able to do it.
And obviously with it being out of town, and I didn't drive up to Leavenworth to see it that evening, but I was watching every minute and sitting on the edge of my seat, especially the last 5 minutes of regulation. So a complete half of basketball because you played almost a complete extra half of basketball that night. So that was a lot of fun. Taking a couple tough ones recently since, but looking forward to going on the road to York at a team that you beat the first time around. And so, anything different that you've been game planning for York, or is it Coach Scott been kind of harping on we got to play our game and our defense and still going with that?
Yeah, it's our game, our defense.
I love it. Coach Scott's real simple about that. Whenever I talk to her about it, it's not real particular about who you're playing or what's going on. As long as you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing, then we're going to hopefully see success. All right. Well, ladies, we're going to take our first time out. When we come back, we'll get to know each of you just a little bit better and then kind of get a little bit of what we can expect the next four games left to go in the regular season. We'll talk about what we've got coming up, but we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in a few minutes from here at the Primetime Grill in South Ottawa. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Soup Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
The league's 88 best players are set to face off at the Pro Bowl in Las Vegas.
Jackpot, baby!
Whether they're rookies new to the game or veterans making a triumphant return, the biggest names and brightest stars will rep their team, their city, and the NFL at this year's Pro Bowl.
And here we go!
Tune in and catch the excitement of the 2022 Pro Bowl, presented by Verizon, Sunday, February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes.
My name is Darby Whitell. I'm from Ottawa, Kansas. I'm studying biology, and I'm a freshman at Ottawa University. I didn't expect how involved I would feel coming here. It's almost kind of like its own community. I'm very close with my family, like my parents, my brothers, my grandparents, like they're all my big support systems, and they can come see my sporting events. Coming here was one of the best decisions I could have made.
The right decision for you is Ottawa University. Find out more by visiting ottawa.edu.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches, weakness, or discomfort in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, and B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live your life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
Living in rural America, we know the value of agriculture and what it means to our families, our communities, our economy, to our country. It starts at home and it starts in school. Each year, FFA students in our area high schools are involved in activities that play a key role in the agricultural health and well-being for everyone, now and in the future. Coming to KOFO starting February 19th, you'll hear from those FFA students during National FFA Week and more about just what it means to them on 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Kansas Army National Guard. Aired by the Kansas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back here to the Primetime Grill here in South Ottawa. Luke Queen with you for Ottawa University Braves Soup Talk. And one more segment to go. I have Brooke Fragis and Kadeshia Payne here with me. And ladies, we've got York coming up this weekend, a long road trip. So you get to take off tomorrow and go spend the evening in Nebraska, which, Kennedy, being from Iowa, do you dislike Nebraska, or is that not a border war thing you've got going there?
No, not really. I've been for AAU games. I've been to Nebraska quite a bit, so there's nothing bad with Nebraska.
Stewart, Nebraska, kind of out in the middle of the state, right? Yeah, so, I don't know if you go Lincoln and Omaha and just don't go any further west, or what you might do there. But, and Kadeshia, how this is your second year here, so you've gotten to experience a couple Kansas winters now where this snow. Yeah, Brooke, nothing to it. She probably thinks Kansas drivers don't know what they're doing. Kadeshia, have you gotten used to this type of the winter weather here in Kansas quite yet?
No.
No? Just simply put, you're not a fan?
No, I'm not a fan. The first time it snowed, the first time that it snowed, we had practice, and my coach had to come pick me up from Target because I could not drive in the snow. I would not do it. Thank you for Coach Scott.
Absolutely. We got to get good shout out there, and that's what you do for your players, is good coach will do. But, and last year, I will say, you were here for the coldest winter I've ever experienced in my life. So, this one isn't nearly as bad as it was last February. So you can make it through this if you made it through that one, I think.
I ain't got no choice but to.
There you go. And we're glad you're here to do it. And as I said, Brooke, coming from Ames, Iowa, I've been there twice in my life to go watch KU and Iowa State battle it out in Hilton. And I'm pretty sure one time I went there was 7 feet of snow on the ground, and everybody in Iowa just kind of acted like that was the normal, and I thought it was kind of strange. So, you're used to this, and this doesn't bother you much at all.
There's actually a lot of snow in Iowa. Like, it snows a lot and for a very, very long time. So this is like nothing to me. I'm really used to it at this point.
So you were rather surprised when school was canceled yesterday?
Yes, I was. I was. And not the first time that it snowed, like during New Year's.
Yeah, but
we still have practice.
Yeah, but nobody was here.
Okay, yeah, you have a point. But I was actually very surprised because in Iowa they still had school yesterday.
And they probably had a lot more snow than we did here.
Way colder there, too.
So we're getting a little bit more into where Kadeshia and Brooke are from here. Kadeshia, like you talked about, this is your fourth year of college basketball. 2 in Louisiana, second year here, going to get to be a super senior next year. Tell me a little bit about what, over the last 2 years, you've, been a junior both years now, but, what is it about Ottawa University that you've seen, maybe on the basketball floor that has changed a little bit? Coach Scott is same thing, just a lot of new young players, but he had to be teaching everybody, you and everybody that came in last year, and now teaching again with such a big freshman class this year. Has there been anything different, or is it just the same system?
No, it's been shot clock. Because it's like, she was like, you guys don't know what a shot clock is? And then it was like, oh, y'all don't play with the shot clock in high school. So that's why in the beginning, you have to tell Haley, hey, push the ball up the court. Come on. Gotta play faster. Come on, let's go. And that's just because they're from high school. So that's something that we've been, Coach Scott been popping on, telling us about the shot clock over and over again.
And and it does not say this on your profile on the website, but I swear that when I had the Meet Your Braves on Twitter that I was seeing, did I see that you would like to work for the FBI someday?
Yes. Yes. A clinical psychiatrist.
Clinical psychiatrist. So you're going to like profile serial killers and things like that?
That's what I want to do.
That is just so awesome. I wanted to bring that up, and I saw that it wasn't on here, and I was like, I know I saw it somewhere, but I wanted to make sure and get that out there. So clinical psychology, and want to work with the FBI to do that someday. That's really neat to me, Brooke. Okay, freshman, so you don't have to tell me your life plans because you're trying to figure it out as a freshman maybe. But coming down from Ames, what is it? Looking at as a major and maybe what to do over the next 4 years here in Ottawa.
My major is actually the same as Payne. I'm in criminal psychology, so I'm learning more about that. But I am still a freshman, so I'm getting to learn more about that. See if that's what I want to pursue.
Mm-hmm. And do you also have aspirations to work for the FBI? Man, I tell you what, I'm kind of intimidated now sitting across from you, wondering what these two are thinking about me and the mind that is working over here. But it is a lot of fun. That's so neat to me that you're both wanting to work for the FBI.
We actually have a class together, too.
Yeah. Wow.
I love the brain. Okay, yes, I read the book. Come on, I say you say it. Like, okay, at least one book read it.
So how the brain works and the functions of that. All right. So psychology. Wow, that is very interesting. So, all right. So we've talked about Brooke being from Ames, Louisiana.
I am not from Louisiana.
Alabama?
Oh, my God.
Did I miss it?
I'm from Florida.
You're from Florida. You
Yes.
played ball.
And, yes, I'm from Alabama.
That's where it was. Okay. You played ball in Alabama before you came here. But Florida originally. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my mistake. But I knew there was that southeast connection down there. Coming from junior college basketball to a 4-year school to play, a big difference between the two. What was maybe the biggest change kind of between that to Ottawa?
It'll have to be coaching, because where I played ball at, I always got cussed out. From A to Z, it don't matter what I did. I could have did something right. I'm still getting cussed out just to make myself better. But Coach Scott don't do that. And it's like, okay, cool. But it's like, okay, I don't have to cuss you out in order for you to do something right. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you, and if you don't do it right, then I'm pulling you out the game and you just want to play. That's it. And it's like, okay, cool. I like the way you think too. So yeah, real simple. She ain't about to cuss us out. Well, yeah.
It depends on how bad the offense was, maybe. But yeah, and Brooke, the biggest step other than the shot clock between high school and coming into a KCAC, what's been that biggest step other than the shot clock?
I'd say getting to learn how to play with more mature people, I guess. Like in high school, well, I didn't play my senior year of high school because I tore my ACL. But before that, it was a lot of just cool people that went out for basketball for experience, and they actually know how to play basketball, and their basketball IQ is way higher, and they don't get lost a lot. So I think that's just really easier to actually play with people who grew up loving basketball and not just doing it as an extracurricular activity.
All right. Well, ladies, that's all.
Locally owned and operated by Brandy Communications. Hometown proud for over 70 years. KOFO, K279CS, Ottawa.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Andy Field. Part of a winter storm.
KOFO 1220.